For match 2 of this best of 3, number 1 seed Menace against the number 8 Nemesis Titan. And first up, we'll see the pick. It is a Nemesis Titan. You can see why they might take a Rona away, Rome.
For this pick, I'm not too sure that they should have banned Rona away. I think they should have banned Fortress because Fortress leaves your jungle duo with a lot more viability. Like you can choose any other heroes with their Koshka, Ringo, even a Scarf like they did in the last VGL qualifiers.
Can Titan pick up Fortress for themselves though?
They do. They do have first pick, and most likely they are going to go pick up a Fortress right now.
All right, we'll see if Hafu is right. It is Menace taking the Koshka away. That's what we saw last time. I know like when we're talking about the other Nemesis team, Hardik is very well known for his Koshka. Is there a member of Nemesis Titan that is actually known for the Koshka, or this is just part of a grand scheme?
Probably Dragon Dag. Oh, actually, Stassin used to play a very good Koshka back in the day. Very aggressive. But with having Fortress still out there, they pretty much eliminated the two best heroes that do go with Fortress and do play well with Fortress. So we're not looking at exactly like a first pick Fortress here.
All right, Hafu, if it isn't broken. Oh, so actually, no, it's Nemesis Titan first picking Celeste, so you can understand why they want to take that away after what we saw the first time.
Menace here, they'll probably secure I'm guessing a Ringo in lane and a Fortress Scarf. Oops, I shouldn't have said that too early. Scarf is going to be last.
We'll see, and it is Menace selecting Fortress, correctly predicted there, and a Ringo. That combination, any thoughts on that combination from either of you?
This is just like the last VGL when they played in the qualifiers. They put a Scarf in the jungle, which was totally unexpected, and they're probably going to do it in the next 30 seconds.
We'll see if it happens, and Love Ice Forever on that Ringo. I don't know if I've ever seen a Ringo with such perfect stutter stepping and kiting than I saw in Love Ice Forever in that VGL qualifier. In Vainglory, you are rewarded for skill. You can get up to 18% attack speed bonus from perfect stutter stepping, and boy is Love Ice Forever capable of showing that. Maybe he will here. Nemesis Titan, they finish off with a jewel.
Yeah, this is the triple stun comp. You catch someone and they will die if they don't have a reflex block.
Yeah.
So I like their comp. We play this comp, bro.
Crucibles are going to be very important in this match coming out of the Vaughn side, and we have the Scarf to finish it off.
There it is.
I should go buy some lottery tickets.
And why were you anticipating that, and what does it do for them?
We have seen it done before, and nobody expects a Scarf coming out of the jungle. What they're going to do is they're going to load up early on Scarf's armor, try to make him as tanky as possible, and use his Phantom of the Flames just to put that jungle aggression on with Fortress's bleed.
All right, and the reflex block change, that is in 111, right? Yes. So for all of you out there, if you're not familiar, of course, this triple stun comp that was everywhere in Update 1.9, you get off, say, the Merciless Pursuit or the Rocket Leap, you follow it up with additional stuns. Now that reflex block, after that first stun, you can still reflex block, try to get yourself out of that chain stun. So we'll have to look for some quick fingers out of that team here today. And now for match 2, let's throw it over to Forecourt Jester. And
all right, thank you, Playoff Beard, and we are getting set for match number 2 of this best of 3 series. Vaughn obviously taking game number 1 in very decisive fashion.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Let's see if they can continue to do more of the same in game number 2, or if Nemesis is going to be able to turn this one around and give us a game number 3 in our very first.
So the big thing that I'm going to be looking for is the triple stun comp coming out from Nemesis. If they can catch one of these guys, Scarf, for example, not a lot of escape options. If they can get some early ganks on him, perhaps it might actually turn the tide into their favor. But the other problem is Fortress and Scarf. You stack those passives together, you stack the bleeds, the percentage damages, and oh my, you could really be doing some huge damage immediately. And as we jump into it now, it is going to be Nemesis Titan here on the left-hand side. Loving E-Man, Dragon Dagger out there into the jungle. And of course, Menace up 1-0 in this best of 3. They're going to be the rivals there on the right-hand side. And, it's, again, I'm curious. Will this triple stun comp come out in the end a little bit more victorious, or will Scarf and Fortress be able to just kind of double stack their damages together nicely in this early game? And will we see a repeat of what we just saw in the first game?
Yeah, I think the big thing is going to be if the stuns can connect before all the dot damage that Vaughn has gets out. Because if they get the dot out, then they don't care if they get stunned because it's not stopping them from doing their damage. And that's going to be really scary to see, as already we have both laners, making a move towards the item shop there. So a little bit of a skirmish here. Now Von's going really aggressive.
Yeah, that's a no fear Phoenix going right into that bush. But look, it actually might pay off. The burning damage, the percentage damage coming out from the Phoenix there as well. It does actually pay off for a first kill there into the lane. And would you believe it's on the roam of the Catherine? It's not quite, the squishy of Celeste. It's not going to be Dragon Dagger, but this will actually slow down her gold gain just a little bit because she has to come back into position. As the owner of that Iron Guard contract, she's very dependent upon her teammates for that gold. And now Dragon Dagger, he had to just wait a little bit here. But by the end of it, it's not going to be a huge impact, but it's definitely showing a statement here from Von Menace. They are here to win early again.
Yeah, and when you get up to this level of play, those little tiny differences in the early going are actually just made so much more important, as right now we see Love Ice Forever just going incredibly hard onto Stussy, getting so much damage on with that Achilles shot and those criticals. And Stussy's going to have to be careful here, but it looks like he's calling in for support.
Yeah, Von C just coming in from the side. E-Man again just going to be taking some of that fire damage to the face, and not too much else they can do about it. Love Ice Forever on one side and Von C on the other. Nemesis is just not having a good position here for this fight whatsoever. Stussy down under half, E-Man about at half, and Von C is still looking for some of that poke and going back and forth, with the Ringo, with that Scarf. They are really just kind of trashing this three-man right now, and there's no jungle pressure to come in here from Nemesis. In fact, Celeste is actually already just gone home, and loving E-Man, you can't stay here. Even with Von C right there, that's going to be the stun and into this double, but it's not quite the triple. But again, they can't do it. That's going to be the fire on the floor, and Von C actually picks that one up, and E-Man now on the retreat. They didn't have Stussy on a 3v2 situation. Again, Von Menace show that their early game is just that much better.
Yeah, and not only that, they're clearing away the entire jungle of Nemesis, just denying so much gold. Already over 1,000 gold is between these two teams at just 3 minutes in. Von is just so dominant in this early game over Nemesis that it's really just so impressive to watch how cohesive and how coordinated they are.
Now, Love Ice Forever, he did start off with a weapon blade, went into armor, and we actually see quite a bit of armor across the board. Look at Dragon Dagger, 2 light shields in that light armor as well. Phoenix, however, okay, we're going to put down the pup this time. The triple stun will finally actually pay off, and that will be the first kill on their side of the board. That actually does bring up that gold differential to just under, well, it was just under a K, but Love Ice Forever is creeping so well here in the lane. Yeah,
Love Ice Forever is just an immensely talented laner. And his CS numbers are generally going to be at least 20 to 30 higher than his opponent once you get into the 10-minute mark, and that's usually a minimum. He is just so strong, as now Nemesis trying to group up, trying to just catch someone out of position. There's another stun.
Yep, stun into the second stun, looking for the third there, and Von C is the big target right there. If they can take down those Fan of Flames, they could actually get themselves into a good foothold. The Celeste is actually going to miss, and in fact, it will be the Catherine now going down for her troubles, and Von C again is a big target. Stussy looking for him. We got the Fortress running off to the side there as well, but it looks like Stussy's given up the fight a little bit there, but Ringo into the back was actually able to pick up now the jewels, so not the trades that Nemesis was looking for, and now they're looking at a 4-1 early game score against them. And Von C is still alive, would you believe? Despite Stussy sitting right there, he just can't either land the bot shots or he's not doing them at all.
Yeah, and Von is now just taking over the lane for a little bit while his allies pick up the gold mine, and that's going to be
a dead Celeste if she does not move.
Yeah. That's a tiny gold payout, but it's still the vision, as now here comes the gank onto the lane, and Stussy is going to be going down.
The Von C bait is just absolutely astounding. I mean, Stussy was really looking for it, but he never went ham for it, and that just bought a lot of time, not only for the gold to go over in favor to Von, because they pick up that gold mine, but now they've lost out, again, a potential 3-man engage. Celeste is finally just coming back to the lane. We have no real map pressure here from Nemesis, and they've just lost out the jungle more times than I can count at this point.
Yeah, and Von C already picking up that the piercing shard just to get more penetration in, because there's early defense items being built here from Nemesis. So going to be able to do a lot more damage, and of course obviously going to be turned into a broken myth, which is just going to be pretty much negating some of those defensive items if he can get it early enough. And with the amount of gold that Nemesis is letting them pick up, it could come out extremely early.
It's about 1,500 or so between the teams. 5-1 for the score is actually not really that bad, but Von C throws out that fireball, finds E-Man, so, I mean, they're not going to be going forward. In fact, they can easily just push. And Von C, I mean, he's a big target from these guys, and with triple stun, he's actually already built into reflex block. Same with Love Ice Forever as well. So even with Nemesis and this early triple, we already have reflex blocks on the two main carries here from VONM Menace, which means that effectively, you can't stun train them as easily.
Yeah, they're going to be able to pop those reflex blocks to avoid at least one of the stuns, minimum. And if those become then crucibles, you can get that reflex block effect on the entire team, which is going to just work wonders for them against the triple stun comp. And VONM is a team that they used to run this triple stun comp all the time. It used to be their bread and butter. So they know how to, if anyone knows how to play against it, it's going to be the team that has made it really as big as it is currently.
Yeah, traditionally, in really any game, if you see a comp that you really like and then you just try to copy it against the people that made up the comp, well, guess what? It's probably just not going to work. But there's one stun looking for Vonsi, and the second. The reflex block actually not really doing too much there as well, but Vonsi is actually going to go down immediately. Nemesis now looking for blood. They're going to go here to Love Ice Forever. We do got the gold miner there as well. Some scout traps out there, and as well, Love Ice. He's actually still ticking. He cannot get the kill on top of Dragon Digger, but he turns around. Big red button! It's not enough. And at the same time, Phoenix off to the side as well. He's survived through that entire fight, so believe it or not, it's only just that one kill, but Love Ice Forever, he is kind of going the wrong way there. That's going to be actually almost a second kill. He will get the equal by the end of it, and 3-6 impressive. Dragon Digger living on just a little bit there at the end of it all, but my goodness, some dragged out early game shenanigans going on between these teams.
Love Ice Forever has finally fallen.
3 deaths in 2 qualifiers. I mean that's not terrible.
Yeah, no, that's his KDA is absolutely through the roof over the course of the VGL, but finally they're able to pick. That's got to be just such a morale boost for Nemesis. Just saying, hey, we finally got our man.
And they technically won that engage, 2-1 for the different trades. That puts a lot of cash now into their pocket. Vonsi and crew, they're all up in the lane right now, just trying to gain a little bit of pressure so that they can push in. But Loving E-Man, he's all right, he's going to babysit the lane, but I don't really see too much happening at least until Stussy gets there.
Yeah, there goes the Hellfire Brew from Love Ice Forever, just trying to make sure that they can't defend this turret. And it goes back to, we were talking about it in game number 1, where they just put all this pressure on once those minions get in to try and deny gold. That's all VONM really cares about, is just denying the enemy team gold. And they're so good at doing so. Nemesis is doing much better this time around, only down by 1,000 at 8.5 minutes.
Yeah,
they were much farther behind at this point in game 1, so already just vastly improved here for game number 2.
So if you remember, we took that gold miner really early with a tiny gold payout, but now it's within seconds of actually cashing out. We got a big candy on it there as well, and that gold mine is basically safe and secure at this point. Vonsi is actually, he did max out that first fireball, and I gotta say, his poke has been phenomenal. Phoenix now, unfortunately, a little bit low on hit points. He's gonna be not the target. No, it's gonna be the return. The Rocket Leap gets themselves a double kill, and now Nemesis, they can go hunting for the dog, as Phoenix is just gonna be running out of this one, but it's too little too late for the immense gold payout, but they still might be able to pick up an ace. They got 7 seconds. It's only E-Man, however, in range of the Phoenix, so it will just be now the gold miner now go over to Nemesis, but they did miss out that payout, but still 2 kills. Again, they're looking actually much stronger this second game.
Yeah, and a lot of it is actually on VONM. Like, their reflex block usage just has not been on point. They have really been lacking in being able to block those stuns and prevent those stuns from coming through. And you have to give credit to Nemesis. They've been capitalizing when those stuns have been connecting.
And another big problem is, is 6 kills enough? I mean, at this point, last game, we were looking at something, 7-0, 8-0. Right now, it's 6-5, and the gold mine has actually now been contested, and there's not nearly enough deny in the jungle. This late game Nemesis comp might actually still hold a chance here.
Yeah, I mean, Nemesis, they have the stuns, as we've obviously been talking about a lot. Catherine scales so well into the late game. Weapon power jewel, those crits from her Thunderstrike are going to be immense. I mean, one Thunderstrike late game with a crit can chunk down a Ringo or a Scarf, over half their health in one shot. They have another fight.
Yeah, Stussy a little bit too far forward. That's actually going to be the Flames now coming in. The big red button for the return, and it's double kill for Jewel. And now it's Vonsi just by himself in a 3v1. The Thunderstrikes are raining down, and it's going to be a bad day to be VONM as they get aced. And this could be now the big turnaround. 9.7 thousand gold to 10. There's basically no difference between these guys. And finally, a kill lead developed for Nemesis Titan.
And Nemesis is looking so much better here in game number 2 with this composition. They definitely changed things around after game 1, and it's just looking so good for them. As you mentioned, that ace now, the mental aspect has to be just their spirits have to be through the roof right now. Obviously, you can't take too much off it because the game isn't over yet.
We talked a lot about, at least to the teams, some of them without LAN experience. I don't see any kind of issues here. One stun into two, looking for the third. Love Ice Forever does actually get, I think, clipped by the Solar Storm by the end of it, but now Phoenix still trying to do his best to play interference. Love Ice Forever has got to be running out of this one, but he got a Scarf coming in from the side. Phoenix not going to be grouping up, but it's still a wild goose chase here for Love Ice Forever. He has no more tricks up his sleeve. The slow coming out and those Thunder Strikes. Dragon Dagger should have this one. He gets juked out. Love Ice Forever actually still standing. Where's the rest of the team here from VONM?
Yeah, the rest of the team, they aren't going in at all. They were trying to take away jungle camps, and I think it was they were just ready to give up the kill. They knew that they weren't really going to be able to turn that one around with how low Love Ice Forever was. So they just let the kill happen. They didn't want to go in and then give up possibly another kill or even two.
Now, Nemesis, this is going to be a big fight. We got a mini candy there on top of that gold mine. It's still a 3-on-3, but VONC into the front. Those Thunder Strikes are really ruining his day. And Dragon Dagger doing some phenomenal work here. Wet-loving Eman. Those stuns are ripping right through this team of VONM Menace.
Yeah, and I like the decision from Nemesis to, instead of chasing the kill, they weren't going to be getting an ace because Love Ice Forever was already back up. So instead, they turn, take the gold mine, get a decent gold payout, and now they have that vision, and now they can look for the kill. Oh,
so close right there. Dragon Dagger, the big red button, is just not enough to bring down Phoenix yet. Stussy doesn't actually hit with that Heliogenesis either, but now VONC's back in town. He's going to be in that lane. Phoenix is actually going to go home, and I think this is our first counter jungle that we've actually seen from Nemesis Titan.
Yeah, they just haven't had the opportunity to do it yet, and now that they're actually starting to pull ahead, they have the gold lead. This is Nemesis' game to lose at this point because they just have a better scaling late game comp. They were able to withstand the barrage of VONM in the early game, and now we'll have to see how things play out the rest of the ways. We are just 2 minutes away from Kraken spawning.
Scarf is a tanky individual, not only with the light armor, but the reflex block on top of that has a light shield as well. Very low offensive powers coming out of this Scarf, but at the same time, I mean, his wave clear is still something to note at this point. The goop, you throw it on fire. The fireballs have been absolutely amazing. And, VONC, he could actually still go into that ultimate, although, level 12. He does actually max out that ult with the overdrive. And, I just haven't really seen one that kind of, has tipped the favor yet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the most effective ults we've seen have been the Solar Storms and the Big Red Button, which I'm a little surprised that Dragon Dagger actually maxed out Big Red Button, given that he is the weapon power jewel. Obviously, Crystal Power Jewel is the one that really makes a ton of use out of the Big Red Button, but I think it's just because it has been so effective thus far. As we now start to see the infusions coming out from Nemesis, those can really turn the tide of a fight.
Well, 10-6. Again, it's looking really good here for Nemesis Titan. The stalls are going to be absolutely real here from VONM Menace. Another minute, and we got that gold miner is going to get devoured by the Kraken as he comes into it. It won't be quite the full gold mine, but it actually should still be an immense payout by the end of it. And all Nemesis have to do right now is just keep what they're doing. They can keep VONM Menace by their turret. They can keep counter jungling here as well, and they do have a candy. And as long as they use it on that gold miner, it's pretty much guaranteed gold in their pocket.
Yeah, right now they're just kind of playing it a little bit slower because of the fact that that Kraken is going to be spawning soon. They want to make sure that they keep that gold mine until the spawn comes up. But it looks like we're actually going to have a fight.
Yeah, one stun into two. Phoenix, he takes a 300 damage Thunder Strike into a Big Red Button. He goes down. Dragon Breath is coming out, but the Solar Storm just does not hit anybody. Love Ice Forever is now going to be low, but same here with VONC. The split attention. He will take down the Jewel, but the reflex block keeps him up at least for a little bit longer. Love Ice Forever is going to stall out this ace, but can he get away? Yes, he will. He has enough distance to make it so. But a 2-1 trade again going over to Nemesis, and there's the decent gold payout, and 15, now 16,000 to 13. A good-sized lead has developed for Nemesis Titan.
With that, even though that fight was in favor of Nemesis, that missed Solar Storm was absolutely crucial. If that had connected, that's an ace for Nemesis. They get another turret off of that as well. That was so huge, and it was a long-range attempt, so we'll give Stussy that, but right now, they are just so strong. Dragon Dagger, he's sitting at 8-3 on this Jewel. The Thunder Strikes, you mentioned it, a 300 damage crit and just the amount of...
That tears through people.
It really does, and it's so much damage that you really can't... you can try and dodge it out, but it's such a quick ability.
More infusions coming in.
Yeah, more infusions. This time picked up by VONM. course, now once you are level 12, those infusions are at their maximum effectiveness. So definitely not surprised to see what's coming out, but it looks like they're going in for the fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, the stun just does not connect. Neither does that one here from Dragon Dagger. The Solar Storm will hit Love Ice Forever. He's the big target, but so is Dragon Dagger. And here comes the Flames roasting the Nemesis team alive, and that's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. 2-for-1, and Von C, he gets stunned, but it doesn't matter. There's traps on the floor, and Phoenix and Von C emerge victorious, and the first ace in a while comes out here for Von Menace, and a lot of map control going their way after the back of that.
Yeah, all of those stuns missing, combined with the fact that Von C was able to get a huge Dragon's Breath ultimate off, really turned the tide of that fight, and possibly could turn the tide of this game. We're getting further into this game. The death timers are getting longer, and they're going to turn their attention on the Kraken. Scarf, despite the fact that he does less damage to Kraken now, is still one of the best heroes to take Kraken.
And remember, Phoenix and Scarf, both of them are actually fairly tanky. And now here comes Love Ice Forever. We just do not have the map positioning here from Nemesis. Do they have a Solar Storm? They do, but they're going to have to guess on it, and I don't see it coming. Yeah, that's going to be the Kraken now unleashed. No vision in and around that area, and this, again, this could actually be the tide-turning moment. We went from a 3,000 gold lead down to just under 1, but we got a Kraken now pushing down and a turret missing in that lane for Nemesis Titan.
Yeah, and really smart by Von there to take the Kraken and pull it into the brush because of the fact that there was a scout trap that they didn't know that the scout trap was there, but it's a very common scout trap to place. And so Nemesis would have had vision of Kraken if they just fought it out in the open for that potential steal. So they pull it into the brush, make sure that they can't see it, can't see how low it is, so that steal becomes infinitely more difficult. I mean, as we saw, it didn't even come out. But here comes the Hellfire Brew. This could be the start of a fight.
480 damage onto Stussy into the back, spilled over to Dragon Dagger as well. Von C going to be pushing forward. Turret is going to be down. The poke is absolutely real, just keeping people out of this. The big red button does not really hit anything whatsoever. And now Love Ice Forever, he's going to go into the front. Loving E-Man's going to be dropping. Dragon Dagger will not survive that onslaught into the back. That's a 2-for-1 trade. No, a 2-for-0 trade, and the ace with the Kraken pushing. This could be game right here.
This very well could be and should be game. 25-second death timers for 2 members of Nemesis with the Kraken pushing in and a full team here. That's going to be game. That's going to be the match for Von Menace coming out and taking their first series 1-0.
Nemesis Titan really pulling into that second game with a triple stun comp, and by all standards, they did extremely well here.